known you for 20 years. I saw you in a band called Candiria. I don't know if you remember those guys.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, huge fan. Every time they played, I was there because I was doing some work with them. So I've had the pleasure of seeing you, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 times. So, huge fan, love the work. The new album blew me away. And one of the first questions I have, I'm going to be all over the place, but one of the first questions I have is, how does Clutch it's a strange anomaly, in my opinion, in the music business. How do you guys keep getting better? How you do not get worse? I mean, that is usually the modus operandi for a lot of different bands. They get to a certain point, and then they're not good anymore.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. I guess it does it's hard to talk about because I'm so close to it.
Sure.
But I know we've always kind of considered ourselves students and never felt like we had mastered anything, and because of that we're trying to learn new things all the time, whether it be just listening to different kinds of music or trying to play those styles in our instruments. And I think that we've always had a bit of a fear of redundancy. That the band will always sound like Clutch because it's the same four guys, but we've never wanted to do the same thing twice, if that makes any sense. And sure that you can take a risk and fail, but I'd rather do that than, just flog a dead horse, because that would seem like the safest thing to do.
That's interesting. That actually segues into one of my questions. What are you listening to right now? What's on your iPod, your Spotify, your choice?
Let's see. I've been listening to. I listen to a lot of hard rock because I'm around it so much. New bands, maybe not new bands, but the hard rock bands that I've been enjoying are Orange Goblin, who we just got off tour with. A band called Cadaver from Germany. I think it's pretty cool. But I also listen to a lot of Leonard Cohen. I've been listening to Junior Kimbrough. Let's see what else. Elmore James. I mean, that's stuff that I've been listening to for quite some time. There's one record that I just got the other day. It's in French. I'm probably going to massacre it, but it's Orchestra Polyrhythm of Benin, which is a kind of a West African multi-instrumental funk band, which is amazing. So, it's kind of all over the place.
Definitely, all a really eclectic mix. Definitely. Where would you say your influences come from? What do you, when you were growing up and you said, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy on the stage. Where did that come from?
Well, at first I had no clue. I just kind of fell into this by accident. I was in high school bands with the guys, and I thought that was going to be the end of it. And then they called me one day and said, "Do you want to fill in for?" It was so.
And you just fell into it, and as well as your influence, what bands?
Yeah, so at the beginning, I was just kind of flying blind, and as far as lyrically and musically, the two of the earliest things that I kind of latched onto was Chuck D from Public Enemy and Tom Waits.
Oh wow, that's eclectic. Huh?
Those were two guys that, because I didn't know anything about pitch or melody, and these guys were much more rhythmically based in a lot of ways. And I kind of gravitated towards that. And they didn't have, beautiful singing voices, but there was a beauty in the kind of gruffness of it to my ear. And as far as musically goes, looking back at the very beginnings, I think there's really three main influence for Clutch, and that was local DC hardcore punk, Bad Brains and Fugazi. The local Maryland doom scene, which, whether it be, The Obsessed or
Okay. Very cool. Let's get some off-the-wall questions here, if you don't mind. Heard you on Alex Jones. Just want to get your take on where his head's at right now in regard to when you interviewed with him. He seemed a little more rational. I don't know if that's a good word, but I've been a fan. I've listened to him, and I heard you, and what you said on there made a lot of sense and some good ideas. Just are you still a fan? Are you still listening? And what's your take on him?
I'm not a fan.
Okay.
I was at first.
Okay.
I will say this. Early on, when we first started hearing him, it was during the Bush administration.
Right.
And all my liberal friends are like, you got to hear this guy, Alex Jones. He speaks the truth. And then the administration changed, and Obama came into office, and all my, conservative friends said, oh, have you ever heard of this guy, Alex Jones? You got to hear him. He speaks the truth. And then it kind of dawned upon me that, if you look for something, if you've already decided, a fact in your head, you're only going to entertain those things that reinforce it, and you're going to dismiss everything that challenges it. And I think some of the rhetoric that I've heard coming out of his mouth is pretty cavalier and dangerous in ways that maybe he doesn't realize. And I'm always one for questioning authority and questioning reality. But after the Boston incident, that really kind of turned my stomach out. Easily and quickly, it became a "I told you so" thing for him. Because I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's too easy to rush to judgment when facts are still developing.
So we're pretty much on the same page, exactly. I used to listen to him too, and yeah, he just went way off boat. But your interview, I thought you made a lot of sense, because you said a lot of good things. It was very intelligent, well read. That's another thing. I've listened to your interviews. I've read your interviews, etc., so forth. Your lyrics are really thought out. You seem like a pretty well read guy. College, high school, where'd that come from?
Well, I liked academics. I didn't like high school.
Yeah, no one
but I liked the academics of it. And
sure.
I went to the University of Maryland for 4 years, and
okay.
I loved it. I liked, it wasn't so much like the college experience as much as I loved being exposed to new things in school. And I don't think I would have the appreciation for the English language and many different topics had I not gone to school. And there's plenty of people that are brilliant and the most intellectually startling people in the world that never went to college. It doesn't, for me, I needed some kind of regimen because I'm not self-disciplined enough to teach myself.
Okay.
So, but I was an English major, and that was just because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, and I just liked reading.
Okay, that's great. Did you want to be a teacher, a professor? Was that in your, like you said, you didn't know?
I think I was thinking about that just because I liked the environment. I liked the burning the midnight oil of writing a paper or trying to get through a book. There was something that I found deeply satisfying about it. As frustrating as it could be, when all was said and done, it was a mental sport.
Very cool. One of the, going back to sort of the alternative conspiracy kind of guys out there, is there anyone out there that you see that might be speaking the truth, that might be a little bit more rational, that makes a little more sense? Is Jesse Ventura someone that you maybe look at it? Is there someone out there, Ron Paul, is he too far left, too kind of, out there? Is there someone that you gravitate towards?
Well, anyone who says they have the truth is someone to be very suspicious of from the get-go.
Right.
I beware people that have all the answers. It's conspiracy theories, are something that I gravitated towards, early on, when we were listening to not to find patterns in acts of terrorism or disease or catastrophe. You know, people blame the tsunami on the Heart Project. But I think that's an effort to just kind of digest the terror of it. But when people then infuse their political ideas or their religious ideas with these conspiracy theories, it scares the shit out of them.
Definitely. There's a little bit of Noam Chomsky in there, sounds like.
You know, he's a really intelligent guy, but I find his books really hard to read.
They really are. No, I agree. Yeah, him and Walter on a lot of these guys, these intellectualists. Yeah, exactly. It's hard to. They are hard to get through, but very, very interesting. Some of your thoughts in regard to that. One of the things, the gun debate. You being from, I'm not sure, but you being from Maryland, is there a little bit of some country in you, or?
You know what? I'm a suburban kid.
I'm sorry?
I'm a suburban kid.
Oh, you're a suburban kid. Okay.
My dad listened to a lot of folk music growing up, and the band did live out in West Virginia, out in the sticks.
Right.
And that left a big impression on me. You know, getting exposed to the bluegrass culture.
Sure.
I definitely wasn't born in it, but I liked it. You know, when I encountered it.
Okay, very cool. Hey, listen, I want to get some clutch beer. What's going on? I can't get any. I was trying to get something.
Not me neither. I drank my case of it.
It was a limited run?
Yeah, they only did that one batch last year. I've heard there's a petition to do it again.
Right.
I certainly hope so, because I was pretty stoked on it.
It was a lot of fun. And where'd that come from?
It was wild. I was at a deli on a day off in Fort Collins, and I just happened to bump it. One of the cellar master, Eric Salazar, recognized me and then invited us to the brewery for a tour. We kind of developed a friendship, and he went to his bosses and said, let's do a collaboration with the rock band, and they were open-minded enough to say yes. And the idea kind of came about when we were doing the tour. They were mixing their dark ale 1554 with their Creek-style Raffaelli sour, and we said we want to do something like that. There's so many IPAs out there. Let's do something a bit more different than that.
Sure. So you sound like a beer geek a little bit.
Yeah, and it's starting to show around the waist.
Nah, man, you look great on Thursday. Fantastic set, a lot of energy. You guys were off the hook. It was just, I saw you in Jersey last time before they closed it. What was it? What's that place closed?
Starland.
Yeah, Starland. Man, amazing show this time. The sound, just amazing. The songs you put through. Really interesting. Real quick, you put a lot of this new album out there. You played a lot of the new songs on this particular tour. Pretty brave. A lot of bands don't do that.
Well, we're supporting that record, and that's the music that, like most bands, we're most excited about the new stuff because it's the most fresh, and we haven't played it to death yet. But we had been playing so many songs before we even had the record released. So and I think we're also gearing up in the back of our minds to do a live record version of the album. So we want to rehearse these songs as much as possible.
Can I quote you on that or no?
Say again?
Can I quote you on that or no? A live.
Yeah, so like a live version of Earth Rocker, same running order, just recorded.
Very cool.
At a club.
Okay, so I'm saying, can I quote you on that? Is that something you're definitely planning on doing, or?
You can say it's something that we're thinking about.
Okay, very cool. I just want to make sure.
We haven't done it yet.
Just want to make sure I get it straight. Real quick, Willie Nelson's birthday was Tuesday? You want to wish the man a happy birthday real quick?
No, absolutely. Happy birthday to Willie Nelson, a man who lives life. His life should be lived.
There you go. Let me ask you this. Going back to the song, where'd that come from?
That came about, I remember, my apartment. apartment while there was, I forget exactly what the hell was going on. There was a lot of police presence in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And I remember kind of looking out my window, putting myself in the shoes of the guy that's, holed up in his house, the classic standoff, whether or not the person's on the is right or wrong is regardless. But it's sort of more the David and Goliath character that I was thinking about.
And does Willie know that song?
I don't know. I've heard someone said they gave him a CD of it, but they could also have been just trying to get a free T-shirt. I don't know.
Totally understand. No problem. In regard to some of the songs, Animal Farm, Escape from Prison Planet, they're conspiracy, definitely conspiracy-tinged songs. Definitely a lot of politics in there. Is that something that comes that you're reading something and you're just like, oh man, I got to write about that, or is it more about your true feelings and you're trying to listen, maybe open people's minds a little bit?
If anything, it would be if I mentioned there's a line in a song that gets them looking into something, sure, but I don't have any of the right answers. Even songs that may have a bit of politics in them, I think of them as fictions. In that way, I have free reign. And I'm not I'm never pretending to deal with facts here. I just see them as more colors for the crayon box.
Okay.
And I think sometimes people, because I'm in the band and I'm singing about these things, come to believe that I'm an expert on these subjects, and I am in no way an expert. I just have fun with it.
I think that goes back to what you said. You're always learning.
I think the minute you decide you're a master is the day you should just go ahead and retire.
That's I like that. I've heard that before, and it's good to be reminded of that. Hey, the new album's got a little bit of a sci-fi feel. The cover art, where'd that come from? Like a Native American sort of digital sci-fi, real neat stuff. Where'd that come from?
There was two records, the Black Sabbath records, that may not be the most favorite Black Sabbath records, but the album art on Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy, we've always loved, and we gave those albums to Nick and said, hey, what does this, inspire you to do? And he came up with that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, well, there's the Earth Rocker.
That is
I didn't know what it looked like until I saw it, but that's his great skill is kind of reading into the aesthetics of the music and making it a visual entity.
Hey, is Mr. Freedom poking some fun at the Tea Party?
Well, it could go either way. I live in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And, just outside by a couple miles.
Virginia, right?
But in Maryland.
Okay.
And the last political election cycle was such a venomous orgy of, it was a circle jerk.
Yeah.
And in Washington, D.C., you're just drowning in it. And I just got so fed up with people giving unsolicited opinions, whether it be on the radio or, the car in front of me. And the language, that's another thing that I got preoccupied to, is language. I don't think people realize how powerful words can be. And when you start using words like freedom and liberty in a very nebulous way, it belittles the meaning of it. And I think they kind of got turned into a marketing tool, really. Anytime a politician said, I'm for freedom, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
It's just something to say. And it ticks me off because most of these people that are saying they're for freedom have never been in a uniform or had to risk their lives in any capacity, and they try to pass themselves off as some kind of Minutemen of the modern age, and nothing could be further from the truth. It's just a business, really. But I guess that's very cynical, but that's the way I feel about it.
Right. Hey, is the duct tape of rock and roll. You want to elaborate on that?
Well, sometimes, if a line requires an extra syllable and you can't get that word in there, yeah or hey, usually is your best bet.
Being on your own label, you guys run it day to day, or you've got some people running it? How does it kind of work over there?
We've got a manager, Stefan Costa, who used to be with Roadrunner years ago, who's managing it day to day. But the decisions that are made by the band, and our manager, Jack, who's a partner in the business. And as it stands now, it's really just a vehicle to get Clutch records and Clutch-related records out there to our fans. Whether or not we're going to be signing or working with other bands remains to be seen. That's a bit of a daunting proposition.
Sure.
But it's been going really well for us.
That's what I was going to ask. The difference between on Weathermaker and being on a major. Would you ever go back if like a major come up and said, "Listen, we want to sign you. Here's a bank of money."
Hell no.
Really?
First of all, that money goes away very quickly, and major labels, they're in the business of selling platinum records and having radio hits, and
those days are over.
We danced with those labels, and it never worked out because we're not going to be that band, and we're okay with that. But now, because of the internet, you can really dial in your audience and find them. And if you want to just talk business, a band can make more money selling 10,000 records on their own label than 100,000 through a major, and that's just the numbers.
And it's been going on for a while, and it seems like now it's really coming to a head. So you would say the future of the music business, 10 years, what do you say?
I see more and more artists doing kind of what we're doing, just because it's just taking a while for people to accept the fact that the model that was set up in the 1960s and 70s and 80s is done.
Right.
And it's a decentralization. It's not unlike how multinational companies have become decentralized. You can kiss those days goodbye. Sure, there'll always be your Justin Biebers of the world that will sign huge deals, but the majority of the artists are going to find that there's no stigma of. That's the thing. That's the big thing. People think unsigned bands is like some kind of calling card of failure. I wear that as a badge of honor, and I don't really, I don't understand why bands continue to sign multi-album deals with these companies, but people will figure it out. I think that's the future.
Very, very cool. So you're saying you want to do a duet with Justin Bieber, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just as long as he understands who's in charge.
There you go. Show him what's going on. From what I know about you guys, you're very out there. The songs are politically tinged. Have you ever thought about doing something on Bill Maher, Colbert, Jon Stewart, Jimmy Fallon? I mean, does that not interest you? You're not interested in doing that. You think getting the way you're doing things is good in regard to reaching the audience through the net.
If any of those shows wanted to have Clutch on, we would jump at the chance.
Interesting.
We don't. We've been a band for over 20 years, and we've never really had any kind of national TV exposure as far as performance goes. And we would let the music do the talking.
Interesting. Hey, what band today inspires you? What band do you see out there that you're like, yeah, man, they're doing it right. I like that. I want to, they're doing a good job. Let me emulate that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
It's hard. Going back to Orange Goblin, this is a band that they're the same age as us.
Yeah.
That have put out records and only just in the past 6 months, decided to quit their jobs and go full time, touring, and that's your package tour, your work tour, and, you know, waiting for some label to give you tour support as an excuse for not touring is pretty common these days.
Right. No, totally.
I applaud the bands that go out there and take the risk and do the work. One thing I hear a lot, you know, bands bitching about, oh, you can't make money selling records, I gotta go play live. Well, you know what? Fuck you. That's what it's about. That's what it's been about for thousands of years. Don't talk to me about not making money for records, you lazy fuck.
You gotta go out and play. You gotta go sell the T-shirts. Exactly, 100%.
It's fun, you know. You should be so lucky.
Exactly. You should be so lucky. Go do a real job. You know, some construction or something, man. You're having a great time. Hey, who's your dream bill to play with? If you could say, oh, I want this band, this band, this band, I want to play.
Well, we've done a couple of them. We toured Motorhead. That was awesome.
There you go.
I mean, there's the selfish things that will never happen. You know, do the Led Zeppelin reunion or the Pink Floyd thing. Most of the, you know, who I would love to tour with, and it probably wouldn't do us any good, but it would be fun, is I would love to tour with ZZ Top.
There you go. Someone said that the other night. They were like, "Don't play ZZ Top." I was like, "What?" when you're on stage. Okay.
Again?
Someone said when you were playing, some guy behind me was like, "Oh, don't play any ZZ Top." I was like, "Interesting." I know, it was really random. I didn't either. That's why I was asking you.
You know what? I think it was probably the Sword cover his cheap sunglasses.
There you go.
That was some kind of comment on that.
There you go. Good. Yeah, Sword, amazing band again, man. Bringing like a big, I don't want to call them baby, but definitely bringing a band out there and showing them the road. That's been a lot of fun, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we've known those guys for ages, and seen them getting better and better. And that's another band that's just dedicated to the rock and roll life.
They're another band. Yeah, you played with them a couple times. Yeah, exactly. Hey, regarding the company band, any more projects you're doing like that?
Not at the moment. You know, it's the process of writing and recording the last record is pretty time consuming, and we're more or less on tour for the next year and a half.
Great.
So it's going to be pretty hard to find time for those things. But you know, I love jamming with those dudes, and I certainly hope we have a chance to do it again.
Very, very cool. Big fan of that project, by the way. Like it a lot. All those bands and just putting it together is just pretty much great. What's next for Clutch? What's next besides putting out the new, working this album and making sure everyone hears it?
Well, we're going to be supporting it, through touring. Like I said, for over the next year. We're going to be, that's really it. And I know what I'm doing up until pretty much next February, and that's doing these shows, both in the U.S. and abroad, and Europe, and Australia. I'd like to get to South America for the first time.
Oh, great. Never been down there, huh?
Never. It's kind of embarrassing to say that. We get letters from people in Brazil all the time, but it's hard to convince. It's like a catch-22. Promoters say, well, you can't do a show because you've never played here. Well, we've never played there because we've never done a show.
Never done a show there. Yeah, I know. It's that's irritating. Yeah, you would do great down there, I would imagine. You would tear those kids up. They would you'd be amazing. Definitely. Last question. I'll let you go, and I really appreciate this time, Neil. Just closing. Van Halen or Van Hagar?
Van Halen.
There you go. I just figured throw something fun in there for you. You know what I'm saying? You were a fan?
Sure. I was one of the first records I bought was Van Halen 1984 on Chromium Oxide cassette.
There you go, the cassette, huh? Yeah. You guys are still putting out vinyl. Just as a fan, I appreciate that.
Well, vinyl's doing better than it has since 1993. Really, I mean, it's had a real resurgence. I think people want something tangible in the age of the MP3, and it sounds better.
No, exactly. It's more crisper, more crisper sound. Gives you an opportunity to play with the artwork, so it's a lot of fun. Are you going to do a special edition to Earthrocker? Or I know you did Blast Furnace. You did a special edition, right?
Yeah, we re-released that once we got those masters back from DRT, and we'll probably do a re-release of Earth Rocker at some point, maybe, have a live record in there or some B-sides that make the cut, so that'll probably happen within the next year, I would imagine.
180 gram vinyl, full artwork, whole 9 yards, great. Definitely be looking forward to that. When you coming back to New York?
I believe we probably got I know we got a North Jersey show probably around Christmas time.
Okay.
As far as New York City, it's going to be at least a year because you can only play, places so often.
Right, exactly.
I would look to North Jersey, sometime between Christmas and New Year's.
Great. Looking forward to it. I'll definitely be out there. We can talk again. And man, thanks so much. Huge fan, as I said. And just keep rocking, man.
Cheers. Thanks for the opportunity.
Appreciate it, buddy. Bye-bye. for 20 years. I saw you with a band called Candiria. I don't know if you've